Thank you all so much for being here this morning. We are excited to give you some good news. So I just want to say that it is a true testament of community to see what has happened here, and we should all feel incredibly proud. I have the pleasure of introducing Attorney Tina Colon Williams of Esperanza Law Firm.
Thanks so much, Tabitha, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here. My name is Tina with Esperanza Law. It was my honor and privilege to represent Esdrás throughout this process. And I will say from the beginning, Esdrás's case has certainly been a whirlwind. There is much to celebrate today. The court's decision yesterday to release Esdrás on bond, as well as the Department of Homeland Security's decision not to appeal that determination, is a huge victory. This means that Esdrás can go back to school, can return to his life, his community. Yes. Focus on what a junior in high school should be focusing on, regular problems of life. We got to see a city rallying around someone to say that we care. It's something really beautiful to witness. But there's also so much that's heartbreaking about this whole thing. Specifically, the fact that his release had to take as long as it did, and that his release was the exception and not the rule. Right now, we are in an era of expansive detention for non-citizens all across the country. This includes people who are in removal proceedings, people who have been here for many years. It includes young people, old people, parents of young children. This kind of expansive landscape is what we're looking at, and it is extremely, extremely challenging. We're in an era of very limited access to a full and fair proceeding for non-citizens across this country. And Esdrás's case illustrates, I think, just how painful and concerning this all is. So Esdrás, as you know, was apprehended by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in late July as part of a nationwide practice of expansive immigration raids, looking for people who may be undocumented. They were not looking for him specifically. He was not on the run from the law. He was not wanted for having committed a heinous crime. He was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time for purposes of being picked up by immigration. And immediately was transferred to a detention facility in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Community advocates gathered around him quickly and rallied quickly to support him, and were able to make contact with us to arrange for him to have legal counsel. But in the meantime, he was transferred to a different detention facility in New Hampshire. And by the time we were scheduled to formalize our representation, that very morning he had been transferred again to a different detention facility in Louisiana, processed for removal. So part of what we're seeing in this era is that this is becoming the norm. The swiftness of transfer and removal. We attempted immediately to make contact with Immigration and Customs Enforcement as soon as we were formally involved. Unable to make contact via phone, able to make contact in writing eventually, and they confirmed that he was being subjected to something called expedited removal. Now, expedited removal is being implemented nowadays at a scale that is unprecedented compared to before. Expedited removal is essentially a quick process of removal, where a non-citizen does not have access to a full proceeding or right to a judge. And under this expedited removal process, they can simply remove you from the country. And that was what was going to happen to Esdrás. And this highlights the importance, again, of access to a process and access to counsel when we were finally able to make contact with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We're able to implement some of the steps that he does have a right to. As a result of that, he was transferred back to Plymouth, Massachusetts, and ICE did decide to initiate full removal proceedings against him, but not yet outside of detention. We were able to request a bond hearing as soon as he was out of Louisiana, and a hearing was scheduled for yesterday. And again, the community support rallying around this young man has been really inspiring and beautiful to see. Letters were pouring in. and we were able to put together evidence and present ourselves before this bond hearing and ask for his release. Another thing we're seeing in this era, not only is the expansive use of expedited removal, quickly removing people without a process, but we're seeing expansive use of mandatory detention, where no longer people are being released from custody. The pain of that, sorry, just a minute. The pain of what is happening is severe. Families across this country whose family members are being detained and not being released are suffering. And inside that facility, it is a prison. ICE has taken a posture that they are not releasing people from custody, and so we knew that a bond hearing could be an uphill battle. But what's beautiful is that yesterday we were able to secure his release on the lowest amount of bond possible. He was ordered released on bond for a bond amount of $1,500, and at that hearing, we saw a kind of community support that was inspiring to see. Multiple people joined the hearing. Mayor Elliker joined that hearing. The Board of Alders who supported his release were able to be present at that hearing. And the judge was able to, my apologies. I think part of what's going on here is that to be a lawyer in this era of fighting detention cases, the swiftness with which people are moved, the aggression of it all, it takes a toll. It takes a big toll on everyone involved. The anxiety is real, and the pressure is real. His fear from inside of detention was real this whole time. But the beautiful thing is that he was ordered to be released, and ICE, after the Department of Homeland Security did not reserve a right to appeal. They accepted what took place, and he will be released from custody. It is truly the moment for increased awareness of what's taking place. Now is the time to sort of take stock of the human cost of this. You have Esdrás, who's 18. At every stage of this time, not really knowing if he's going to be released or not, but now we are able to continue with this process from outside of detention. The reality is this is the beginning of a long road. Upon release from detention, he will be able to go through ongoing removal proceedings, but the challenge, he'll be able to go through his removal proceedings outside of the context of a jail, outside of a prison. And it's a long road, but we are committed to standing with him, rallying around him, being beside him throughout this process until the end. And so I just want to give a huge thank you to the community for rallying around him. And just it's things need to change. It's something that needs to change.
Thank you, Attorney Colon Williams, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for the work that you are doing to help defend our community. As Attorney Colon Williams mentioned, I participated in observed the bond hearing yesterday. And first of all, it was inspiring to see your response to the federal government's arguments against Esdrás that were poignant, that were to the point, that made clear that an 18-year-old boy in our community that was just swept up by ICE deserves to be going to school. He should have gone to school yesterday, and we are so excited to welcome him back when he comes back to New Haven so he can go to school again. Esdrás is coming home. And it was also inspiring to see how many of our community members were on that bond hearing call. I was looking at all the names, a lot of names that are here with us today. So many of our community members came out, and the judge actually referenced that as one of the reasons that the judge said that Esdrás was getting this $1,500, the lowest bond amount, as you heard from Attorney Cologne Williams, and would be released. So it was a very proud moment for our city. Just as there's been many, while difficult, but proud moments over these past few months when New Haven has stepped up and continued to reaffirm our values as a welcoming city, no matter who you are, where you come from. If you want to be a productive member of our community, you are welcome in our community. And I hope that people that are, for folks out there that are listening that are somehow conflicted at this moment about immigration, I hope you think, you put yourself in someone else's shoes, where you're trying to escape oftentimes turmoil and coming to a new place, looking for an opportunity to succeed, to start a new life, grasping onto hope, and then one day, without any notice, you're just arrested with whatever you have on your person and taken away to a prison and gone through 2 months of being in different prisons. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It's just awful what is going on right now in our country. And I hope that people that are somehow torn on this see the reality of what is going on right now. We want to support people that want to be part of our community, and Esdrás was a perfect example of that. Just a good kid with no disciplinary record, no criminal history, just a good kid involved in our schools. We're so happy to welcome him back home. I want to reinforce thank you to Connecticut Students for a Dream, ULA, New Haven Public Schools, Principal Matt Brown for the work that you did, and so many folks from Wilbur Cross that came out and spoke on behalf of Esdrás. Assistant Principal Cora Munoz, the teachers, the classmates, and many others, advocates that because of their work, Esdrás is coming home. We're so happy. We have a lot of work ahead of us at this very, very difficult time, but we stand united as a community in New Haven. Thank you.